I stop working out, they can't fully trip me up. Yeah, come on with me and save your feet and toes. Yeah, I said, come on, save your feet and toes.
Y'all remember how to snap your fingers?
Cause if I stop walking now,
Yeah.
they cut me.
Ray Rod isn't, y'all. The talented, wonderful Ron Jackson on guitar, honey.
And save your toes and feet.
Yeah.
I said,
Get your weights. If you're lifting weights, get your chair. If you're doing chair exercise,
when you walk with me,
line up. If you walking wall to wall, get your mat. Yeah.
I'm walking, y'all.
Hey, thanks for coming on the walk. Like, comment, share. Tell a uncle, tell a auntie, tell a cousin, tell a friend.
Trying to save my feet and toes.
Yeah.
Cause if I stop walking now,
What?
they'll cut me up until I'm just a nose.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know about y'all. Whew. I love a finger snapping morning. Well, not morning. Whew, why isn't? Because we don't mourn in the morning. We rise when the sun rises. Happy Juneteenth. I dug them up from the basement. Thanks for coming on the walk. Like, comment, share, tell uncle, tell auntie, tell a cousin, tell a friend. Subscribe. Do I got a story to tell y'all? All right, let's start this walk. Yes. Yes. How y'all doing? I'm telling you, I could never understand, especially when I got into my grandmother's Southern Baptist cult. Because I was in New York in the 60s. And that's when they literally revived the ancestors for us. I mean, I guess the ancestors said, oh, I'm so happy. They was trying to find their family. Oh, they remember me. They love me. They love me. They love me. But that was the 60s. So since then, I held them to my heart. And then my mother died in the 60s. So her energy never left me, honey. That's why you see me here right now. So I could never understand how, and this is what I was taught in my grandmother's Southern Baptist church, that when you're dead, you're done. Well, that's ridiculous. This is matter energy. When the matter dies, the energy goes on. But I couldn't say that to them because that's what I'm telling you, ignorant. I don't think ignorant has a color. Just like intelligence doesn't have a color. You make it so base when you put it there. They were ignorant people. And, but when my grandmother passed, she loved me. When she was alive, she loved me. When she was my grandmother, she taught me everything and loved me. When she was the deaconess of the cult, I was nothing but the devil, a rude link. But when she was my grandmother, she taught us how to sew. She taught us how to cook. She paid for us to take piano lessons. She made sure she had our hair done, that we was clean. She taught us sanitation. She taught us, because that's what she knew, cleaning from the back to the front, sweeping your stuff out of the house, literally sweeping out the back door. And so many things that she knew. What she didn't know, she couldn't teach. So, oftentimes I vibe with her and said, how would you feel if I wasn't communicating and vibing with you since the day your matter and energy separated? How hard I know you there? I know you're there. But if I had stuck with her cult teaching, she dead and gone. Now I imagine to all her other grandkids, because every now and again I say, oh, you know, Grammy used to da da da, and they're like, oh, yeah. She's already a faded memory. But not to me. And not in my videos. She burns brightly. Victoria. So, I don't understand. I know why they do it, because this is a penal colony. Hi, this is Vicki, and welcome to the penal colony, a.k.a. America, a.k.a. the USA, honey. So I understand being on this penal colony, how you're trained to do thus. Because the energy of the ancestors, they love you. I don't understand. And I couldn't understand. I had to keep it to myself. But I'm on my way to separation anyway. So, fuck yeah. No. You're giving your energy away. That's what they do it for. You're literally taking your energy. You're taking the energy when you die. And you're putting it in a garbage pail that has this blonde hair, blue-eyed robe man on it, and nothing. And then you don't train us too, but unless someone like me and knows what's going on, I pulls you out. And then I gotta call the family and put you back into rotation. I say, you remember Grammy so-and-so? But if I had listened to her cult, she'd be gone. If I had listened to her cult, my Aunt Anna Mae, if I had listened to her and her cult, I wouldn't be talking about her now. And so many wonderful things about her. But when you talk about her children, and I try to put her back into rotation, I hear, yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to put you back into rotation, but you done taught them people that using this garbage pail with blonde hair, blue eyes, and a robe and sandals, and they figure you all right. Why they got to think about you? Anyway, let me hurry up because we got remembering slavery. So, why did this have to happen during Juneteenth? I filed my taxes a bit ago. Maybe the accountant was busy. But he picked the wrong time to tell me about my tax return. If he had done it maybe any time except the holiday of Juneteenth, I would have a different reaction. Because I knew that's how it works out. You get old, even though you're poor, you get Social Security, and then you got to pay your extortion fees, and then you gotta you pay your extortion fees, and then your old taxes. And being single with no dependents, no house, nothing. We all know. And I know too. I ain't just get to this penal colony. I done figured it out. So, when my daughter came in and told me what the accountant said, I was like, this is how I was. I was like, and right away, I don't know who it was, they said, tell them to take it out of reparation. You see, that blonde haired, blue eyed man that you dealing with, when I was dealing with him, and because I was trading the coke, I would be all panically crying, because that's my reaction. Woe is me, da, 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 da. But before I could even really get it in my head, I got a vibe saying, tell them to take it out of reparation. And I was like, what? That's the IR and the S. And they said, the IR and the S, that orange shit stain made his step stool. That IRS that you got the first ever warden's signature on it. I didn't get the check, but I got the letter. That IRS that was basically put in place to make sure no African American get to put a toe on the line. A penny of tax to keep. That IRS, I think his whole sole purpose was to make sure that nary, because we pay most of the taxes, we don't have a lot, but if you put us in collection, you put millions of people paying taxes. And they said, well, millions, why do people pay taxes? No, they know how to, anyway. So, I'm sitting there, right? And I was like, no. And they was like, really? 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 You gonna pay them people they tax money so you can eat dog food? Damn thing almost slapped me out the chair. I said, holy shit. I ain't doing that bullshit. And again, another ancestor said, tell them to take it out your reparation and send you the rest in a check. I was like, oh, why did I have to get this IRS stuff on this holiday? You see, because they love you. They love you. If I was co-trained, I would have taken my money. I'm telling y'all, I would have paid those taxes and stood in the free food line. Because that's what I was trained to do. Because the IRS would come and get me. Bet I starved. Did not pay my taxes. That's how I was trained in the courts. But honey, these ancestors lied to me. They was like, I'll come down there and stomp you if you pay them every dime. I was like, lighten the load, lighten the load. I ain't giving them nothing. And then, because I'm scary, and the coke got back in me. And I said, oh, what they gonna send me to jail? And I guess one of the ancestors said, whew, before I slap you up the chair. Ain't you got a book you want to write? I said, yeah. They said, didn't we go to Nevada? All the way to Nevada. And you only wrote 3 chapters. I was like, yeah. And then they said, well, look at it like this. When the IRS put you in jail, you can write your book, but you ain't giving them nothing. Tell them to take it out their damn reparation and send you the rest of the check. So, I promised them that I would not. And I'm not. Now that's this year. So I ain't saying nothing about next year. I'm still going to file next year. But I'm going to file early next year. I'm going to make sure that I get everything done before Juneteenth. Because If anything works out, well, I got to deal with the ancestors. See, and that's what y'all gonna get. I used to tell my daughter, listen, don't be out there shaming your grandmother. Don't be out there shaming me. I didn't know to tell her then because we're in a penal colony where we are criminals just because 600 fucking years ago we was lighting up Europe's ass, ruled it, was conquered, and as a conquered people was sent to this penal colony. Then they said, Europe, the European nations, like now they get together, and they said, instead of waiting for the Africans to come over and attack us, let's go over there and get them, round them up, and send them to penal colonies, like this one I'm on. And this is Jamaica, Argentina. Remember, the European countries got together to handle our ancestors. So, that must have been the vibe of Ancestor, who's a historian. When I go there, I know that. I know who that is. Alrighty. And then I got to find my way to get back on track. So, no, I ain't paying them. And my daughter and them not paying them. And I put in that bloodline, after I'm gone, if y'all ever hold the government, tell them to take it out of my reparation money. Because if I get my reparation money, they ain't going to have to worry about that. Yes. Yes. Happy Juneteenth. Oh, now we have to listen when we come back from our break to remember slavery. Let's get some water, y'all. Yeah, oh, wait.
It's to save my feet and toes. Yeah, I said I'm walking, y'all.
Yeah.
Trying to stay ahead of the sugar cane.
Yeah.
If I stop walking, y'all,
Oh, yeah.
the king's gonna trip me up. Yeah, come on with me and save your feet and toes. Yeah, I said come on with me, save your feet and toes. Cause if I stop walking now,
Oh, yeah.
they'll cut me up until I'm just a nose. Yeah, come on with me and save your toes and feet. Yeah, I said come walk with me, save your toes and feet. Cause when you walk with me, you can eat the food you want to eat.
Oh, yeah.
I'm walking, y'all, trying to save my feet and toes.
Oh, yeah.
I said I'm walking now,
Oh, yeah.
trying to save my feet and toes.
Yeah.
Cause if I stop walking now,
What?
they'll cut me up until I'm just a nose.
The brilliant Ron Jackson. Y'all have to check out his shows. There's a song, You Have Made Me Very Happy. Mr. Ron Jackson, you have made me very happy. I love a morning finger snapping song, and I made one. All right, y'all. Okay. Fair use. Fair use. Okay. It's our ancestors, but no, not that. Uh, okay, let me turn it down a minute. It goes straight from the music into talking, but it's the music. But y'all can go. You know, we really shouldn't have to buy this. But anyway, here we are. No, I can't believe this.
Ison Mosley was born in 1856 in Georgia. His 1941 interview took place in Gee's Bend, Alabama.
Well, now, it still needs a year for we know that they was free. And when they found out they was free, they waited on sheriff, they tell me. Waited on sheriff. They didn't write no line, they waited on sheriff. Now, you know, I was a boy, I'm going to explain it best if I understand. They say they waited on sheriff. I think it said you
Sharecroppers.
over third, I think. They got the third, I think it said what they made.
A third of what they.
Correct.
Most former slaves became sharecroppers, laborers who received as their year's pay a portion of the crop they produced.
Almost
Families
knocked
would
me
also
over.
have to buy supplies from the landowners. Some were forced to stay there
That's what my
year
grandfather
after
did.
year to pay their debt.
He was a
The
sharecropper.
voice of Laura Smalley.
They let you go just as far and get as you want to go, you know. And then see, if they know your crop wasn't going to clear, you know. And so next year you had to stay and wake out your debt. If it didn't, you know, to take all your horses, cows, everything away from you. You know, leave with nothing. You see, that's why they keep them there, you know, that way. So that, you know, they could get everything they had. They didn't
Take my taxes from Reparation.
give everything you had up. Going off. Everything up. They see it is going. Sure enough, they beg you to stay, you know, another year. Get anything you want. Any kind of money. But now you're going to stay there next year because your crop ain't going to clear, you know. It's not clear. They let you stay.
You're not going to grow enough to pay off your debt.
I had children like
As
this,
intended on this penal
they let
colony.
you take it up. But now when the crop comes, they take every bit that crop. You wouldn't have them to live on know next year till next year come. Well, that old cows right there for Christmas, you know, get this what you want. That's what they do.
That's what they do. Okay. This is just a little piece. Hold on. Okay. It's a segue, but I can't do segues.
Take it up. But now when the crop comes, they take every bit that crop. You wouldn't have them to live on.
Hold on. Because they may done hit me
Harriet Smith.
for copyright infringement and all kind of stuff.
Much of it.
Jim Smith?
Jim Smith. Was he a church man? What happened?
Church man, politic man too.
Oh, they were, y'all voted in those days.
Yeah.
Her husband she's talking about.
Known about white folks. Well, when he got killed, the white folks was just crazy about him. That boy that killed my husband, I nursed him from his baby.
How come it kill you?
Well, he's just mean. Just mean, you know, and he didn't like people up to date, you know. And of course, it's just 13 months into this, my husband killed his brother. So,
Killed his husband's brother.
yeah. He'd been to church. I think he went to jail that night, the cowbell got. Just walked by and sat down on the seat and hold fast of him and sat down talking. And the time come this brother. He killed my brother, my husband, on the way to the city. I flew right to the spot now, you know, while he was killed.
Shot him or
Shot him on the way from city. See, we have a celebrate that home.
Well, what kind of politics did he do?
Well, he waits for white people when they want to be elected, you know.
You see how that
He
switch
worked
is?
amongst the colored
Most
folks.
other people couldn't speak. The white folks, he couldn't get in the house when he spoke hardly for white people. He had a good line.
And he round up the votes, and that's how come them to kill him.
Even people from Austin, from St. Marcos, from every which way, white and colored, so he can't speak.
They didn't know. They was just voting for wardens.
Well, did the colored folks not like him?
No, the colored people all went. These white people, this boy that killed him, who walked by, I nursed him when he was a baby before I was ever acquainted with mine.
Well, what I'm trying to find out is, how come him to kill your husband? Was it over politics?
Oh, politics and different things.
Politics and different things, you know.
Did the white folks have your husband killed, or did he just walk by this little
You know, my husband went to celebrate that day, and on his way back from celebrate, he laid way the road and killed.
What they do to walk by?
Well, you know, that's what he used up in there, you know, they'd scare any kind of tail, they'd do nothing with him, had him up. But his brother-in-law killed him.
Is that right?
Sure.
There must have been a shooting lot of folk up there.
That's all they do with these Hatfields and McCoys when you get involved in this politics.
Boy, it's cold white folks.
Yeah, it was poor.
Y'all must have all been kinfolks in those days.
Good.
Well, all of you seem to have been
White
over by, you know.
No, there's white people.
Over by was white
One poor white person. I can go right this place and why he was born.
Oh, I didn't know he was a white man.
Yes, he was.
Well, why do you reckon you want to shoot your...
That's because he was white. Because I was born as well.
He thought that African American had shoot her husband. She had to tell him it was a white man.
For the former slave, freedom came with a price. They had to pay with hard work, hardships, and sometimes their lives. Although the number of these recorded historical interviews are few, they illustrate a connection to contemporary American life. The Fountain Hughes interview was recorded in 1949.
Now, you all try to live like young people ought to live. Don't want everything somebody else has got. Whatever you get, it is yours. Be satisfied. And don't spend your money until you get it. So many people get in debt. When you want something, wait until you get the money and pay for it cash. That's what I've done. If I wanted anything, I waited until I got the money and I paid for it cash. I never bought nothing on time in my life. I never
Credit. They call it time.
I don't owe nobody 5 cents, but I ain't got no money. But I'm happy.
I ain't know nobody 5 cents till I owe the IRS, but they gonna take it for my reparations, so I'm all right.
Nothing worries me. My head ain't even white. Nothing in the world worries me. I can sit here in this house till night. Nobody can come and say, Mr. Hughes, you owe me a quarter, you owe me $1, you owe me 5 cents. No, you can't. I don't owe you nothing.
John Henry Falk was one of the scholars who audio recorded his interviews with former slaves. His work was deposited in the Library of Congress and in the Center for American History at the University of Texas at Austin. In an interview 40 years later, he described an event that made him think long and hard about prejudice.
I remember sitting out on a wagon tongue with this old black man, completely illiterate, down here near Navasota, plantation area. And was telling him what a different kind of white man I was. I really had gotten become educated on blacks and problems, except we call them colored folks. The colored folks. I said, you know, you might not realize it, but I'm not like colored white folks you run into down here. I believe in giving you the right to go to school, to good school.
See,
Now, I know you
hear
don't want to go
the
to white
world.
people. I don't believe in, going over
They
board
called
on
us
this thing.
ignorant,
Colored people always
but
be
they
given good
stopped
school,
us from
and I believe you ought
learning.
to
They kept
given
us
the
from
right to
books.
go
Our
into whatever
ancestors.
you qualified to go into. And I believe you ought to be given the right to vote. And I remember him looking at me very sadly and kind of sweetly and condescending and said, you know, you still got the disease, honey. I know you think you're cured, but you're not cured. He says, you talking there, you sitting there talking, and I know it's nice, and I know you're a good man. Talking about giving me this, giving me that right. You talk about giving me something that I was born with just like you was born with it. You can't give me the right to be a human being. I'm born with that right. Now, you can keep me from having that. If you've got all the policemen and all the jobs on your
Petty
side,
rollers.
you can deprive me of it. But you can't give it to me. And I'm born with it just like you was. My God, it had a profound effect on me. I was furious with him. You try to be kind to these people, you see. Give them an inch and they'll take an L. But the more I reflect on it, the more profoundly it affected me. I realized this was where it really was. Give them something that they were born with, just like I was born with it. I was entitled to it the same way I was entitled with it.
My father used to say, my father used to say, when they used to say, oh, we're going to give the Negro civil rights. My father used to say, you can't give me no civil rights. That's not that's Hatfield McCoy ignorance. But when you're uncivilized, you think you can give people civil rights. No, you're born with it. My matter is here. I'm a civilian. Oh, I tell y'all. So, that's what I was going to tell you about. So, they really ain't got nothing to take away from me, because when I was out here trying to get stuff, they made sure I didn't get shit. So at this stage, I'm not fearful of the I and the R and the S taking shit from me, because I fought all my life to get shit, and you fought all my life to make sure I didn't get shit. So the point that we at now ain't got nothing for you to garner, share, lean, roll around on. Oh shoot, I forgot I was doing my hand exercises. Roll around on, send your kids to college with, pay your mortgage with. No. Can't even set your patty rollers on me. I do very little. I try not to have any interaction out there with y'all. So, that's it. I say, take it out my reparation and mail me the balance. When I was younger, I was so scared. I used to prepay my taxes just to make sure I get something back, because I used to watch them women. Whew, when they would get their check garnished, it's like that check they was going, I don't know, pay rent with or a card note. But honey, when that check came through and all she had was enough money to get back to work, my knees buckled. I said, I can't do that. So I always make sure. Yes. You say, oh, take it and put it in the bank. What are you giving it to the IRS for? No, you don't know my life. You don't know how they destroy African Americans. You don't know. And over pennies. Not even no real shit. Anyway, let's do 10. Let's do 5. Not up, no down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sometimes I think I'm going too high when I look at the videos. Tuck in your elbow. Squeeze your gut. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And one split luck. And let them take it from wherever they get it from, as they always have. This is a penal colony. It ain't meant for us. The ones that got to the plus sign, you is the few that's chosen to do it. And the way I always loved my ancestors, respected my ancestors, made them proud. Everything I wrote about them was good. Everything I said about them was positive for the uplifting of myself and my daughter. So, I know I ain't one of the ones to get through. Hey, y'all, we did it. Thanks for coming on the walk. Like, comment, share. Tell an uncle, tell an auntie, tell a cousin, tell a friend. Subscribe. Subscribe. Happy Juneteenth. And we'll be, oh yeah, have the rest of a finger snapping morning. See you tomorrow.